podcast, 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 Will It Be Podcast, Will It Be Podcast, Will It Be Podcast, Will It Be Podcast, yeah! Yo, this is your boy Willie P from the Willie P Podcast, talking all things art, all things music. Hope you enjoy.
Well, yeah, man. Well, welcome to the Willie P Podcast. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. And thanks for the sick audio gear.
Yeah, no worries, man.
So good.
When you record music, you're gonna need something like this.
100%. I always appreciate when because it just sounds so good. But yeah, man, I had to listen to your stuff. It sounds sick. It reminded me a lot of like King Cruel, which is really cool. I don't know if that's what you were going for, but like I really got that vibe, which is cool.
I definitely would like to emulate that vibe at some point in the future, maybe work with someone. But trying to find my voice at the moment. There was one track there where the clouds join the oceans, the first time I've sung on a track. And a lot of that is like, I think I'll go on a rant here, but there's a trend with male singers nowadays to sing really high with their falsetto, with their head voice. And a lot of girls singing really low, like a low whisper. But I've got a deep baritone voice. And not that you need to be popular, but I'm wondering where I try and sing my songs, just experiment a bit with some of the earlier stuff.
So do you want to kind of get to that high point, like be able to sing higher with your voice and stuff?
I'd certainly like to be able to. And I like a lot of the songs, like in pop music and stuff now, people with really high voices, males with high voices. Sounds really good. I think it would just take a bit of work for me to get there.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was gonna say too, where do you get your production skills from? Because I got some pretty good monitors, and I was like listening, I was like, oh shit, like this is good as. You just do it like in
trial and error. Yeah, there's not my bedroom. This is where my brother used to have his bedroom, and I've set up shop in here.
Oh, nice.
He's been producing for years, but he never really taught me much. I'm taking. I'm doing a Bachelor of Music at JMC in South Melbourne.
Yeah, and, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the courses is music technology, where they teach you about using a DAW and all that. And so I've got a MacBook with Logic, just like really basic indie kid shit.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And my the loves of my life, my Juno 6 keyboard, and there's a Yamaha DX11 there.
Shit. Oh no.
Yeah, these things, they rock my world, and like that's where most of the sounds come from, I guess.
Vintage? Is that vintage?
Yeah, there's 1981 and 1982 or something like that, and they're still going strong.
Woohoo! Damn.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like you will have heard the Juno, this big beast down here. You will have heard that everywhere since the 80s, and still now it's coming back a bit. Tame Impala, it's got the Juno 106, or Tyler the Creator's got this exact one.
No way.
Yeah, and I'm loving.
Yeah, that's what were you gonna say?
I'm loving that. I'm just figuring it out and being able to make my own sounds. Whereas like with the guitar, you can get a lot of tone with a bass or piano, anything. You can sort of edit that and mess around with it to change the tone. But just to have full control over the sound that you're putting out with these is like, I love it.
Because that's analog, right? Is it analog?
Yeah. So the Juno 6 here. All analog, but it was the first one, or the first popular one to come out with like a digital controlled oscillator DCO, so it stays in tune. A lot of the guys, when they've got really old keyboard synths, it's like high humidity or like over a long period of time, always goes out of tune, and it's the most annoying thing. But these stay like perfectly in tune. It's great. I think I got it plugged in here.
Hey, fuck yeah. That sounds awesome. Nah, sick. Oh, that's cool. How's like uni and stuff going online in ISO? That must be pretty intense. Especially
it's something,
first year, right? You first year?
Yeah, first year.
Yeah.
So it's something we've all had to get used to really quickly, obviously. Yeah. And like it's a pain in the ass because it's the same course. Everything's the same. You're learning the same content, but like. Sometimes I just can't be bothered getting out of bed at like 9 a.m. So I'll just turn the iPad on in bed.
Yeah.
And like, it changes the whole dynamic, and you feel like you're not committing to it, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah,
So
because you
that's
wouldn't get
been
that
the
practice
challenge.
time, right? Like you wouldn't get to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've got our ensemble groups where we get together and we're meant to play like cover songs or original songs in a group.
Yeah.
But now we have to do Zoom meetings and send each other recordings, and we come up with like a mix at the end of the semester, and
Shit.
it all works out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah, but
cool.
we're not getting that social interaction. We're not getting to play together.
Yeah, that's oh man, because that was the thing. I mean, I did audio at Col Arts. I didn't really do like performance stuff, but when I watched them and stuff, I was like, oh, like that. Like I was thinking about, it, I was like, how do they even operate like now in ISO without being able to
Yeah.
and shit. No, that's awesome. I was gonna say too, with your music, did it take you a while to like write most of your stuff, or like did it kind of come like gyro in like a night, or was it just like a long process? Or
That's the thing, like the best stuff, like the top 4 tracks on there.
Yeah.
My favorite one, a good way to end something. I did that in like 2 hours, and it's just like I had a chord progression that I really liked, like a lot of sixth chords on the keys here, and I had that for ages, and I didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And so after messing around, there's another track on my SoundCloud that has the exact same chords. That was just titled like "Making a Track for the Sake of It" or something.
Yeah. Yes.
And I'm trying to figure out what to do with them. And I was really loving. I've been a big fan of M83 for a while.
Yeah.
Guys that
Oh,
did Midnight
yeah,
City
yeah,
and all
yeah.
that. And just like the really heavy drum sounds with the gated reverb and all that sort of shit. Is so big, and like he
Yeah.
uses heaps of synths. And so I was like mucking around with the Juno for a bit, and I was putting the chords out in a way that sounded real nice.
Yeah.
And it's not the chords aren't even. There's like one time I play them through 4 times, the next time I play them through 3 times. But I was so sort of in the moment, in like a flow state of just creating.
Yeah.
But
That's sick.
yeah, I added a bunch more keys, added the guitars, and like in a couple hours, everything came together, and I was like, I'm not touching it. That's perfect.
Yeah,
Like,
that's so awesome. Like, oh, that's so cool. Because I mean, it's so cool when that shit happens, like that flow state thing. I've only had that. It's funny. I'm doing a sort of a rock project solo thing in ISO at the moment.
yeah,
And
cool.
my first song, I think I did it all in like a night, and I was like, fuck, like that's so sick. And then like the rest of the stuff, like it's all been like super spaced out, which is good. But I don't know. There's definitely something to like just like doing a whole thing like really quick when you like something, and like it can be better.
Yeah.
Love that shit.
Like, yeah, the
That's
4 best tracks I've put out are all like that, which
Yeah,
is frustrating in a way because I'm trying to, emphasis on trying, I'm trying to write an album, this album idea that I've had for years. And while it's not the most original, it's sort of my way of telling the story.
Yeah,
Yeah. Heavy into like concept albums, Pink Floyd. I got that shit tattooed on my arm.
yeah. I was literally gonna say your sound also reminds me of who's the guy who did the solo stuff from Pink Floyd? I got like that vibe too.
Everyone
know,
sort
I
of did
kinda
their own
see
sort
that
of stuff.
influence.
Dave Gilmour or Roger Waters.
Yeah, Roger Waters.
Yeah, but fucking yeah. So when I want to make this like really well thought out album, and I've had it being brainstormed in my mind and making demos for like 2 years now,
Yeah.
and you sit down and you listen to all the demos and you go, none of this sounds good. None of this sounds like what I want it to sound like,
Yeah.
because you're just not quite in the right flow state. It's like if you try too hard to put something out, it's not going to come out right if you think about it too much.
Yeah. Do you have that when you like the day after or whatever? I have that thing where like I'll write something like that and I'm like, oh, this is like tight as, and the next day I'll be like I kind of have to leave it for a while. Like, do you have that?
Yeah, you got to give it time to see if it's
Yeah.
still as good as you remember it.
Yeah, 100%. No, that's cool. That's super interesting. It's cool you talk about like the flow state stuff too, because I feel like that, like, man, that's where it's at.
Yeah, that's
the
like
shit.
the only thing keeping us going in ISO.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. I was gonna say, has ISO made you a bit more like creative? Do you reckon, or has it been kind of like harder to get inspired?
It's an interesting question because I've definitely got more time on my hands for this kind of
Yeah.
shit, and I've been sitting down, like picking up the guitar. Or I'm trying to. ISO has really kept me wanting to have a routine all the time.
Yeah.
So not a set one. I don't like set times for things, but just so long as I have tasks to do throughout the day, a lot of it's uni practice. Like
Yeah.
I draw out. I've picked up the bass guitar again,
Oh,
and
sick.
I want to make progress. So I've drawn up or printed out like 5 fretboards or 6 fretboards, and I've got
Yeah.
to fill them in. Got to fill in all the notes every day, once a
Yeah.
day,
That's
6 of them to
awesome,
try
man.
and memorize it in my head. And then when all the theory comes in later, that's where I'm putting my practice and time, like into the basics.
Yeah, that's sick.
So
That's actually
maybe not
really
necessarily
smart.
like creative endeavors. Yeah.
That's good shit. But
So I might not be creating as much, but I'm like definitely practicing heavily with music a lot
yeah,
more.
yeah. No, that's good. That's good. I suppose like uni's probably helped that too. Like for me, it's weird. Like it's right. It's weird. Like you have so much more time on your hands, but like I might be, and I guess this is planning out my day more, which should be a good idea. But like I'll like probably be productive for like maybe like 3 hours of the day, and I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna do all this stuff like today. It's gonna be sick, and then I just like leave it for like
Yeah.
before I have to go to bed, which is really bad. But
Yeah.
but yeah, and I recently tried to like I got a job recently, but I'm like, oh, at least like I'll be, if I have less time, then like I'll force myself to make time for more music stuff. It's weird. I don't know. I don't get it. Um, but yeah, that's really smart that you're like doing all the theory shit because I'm terrible. I remember year 12 music class. I did not know a damn
Oh, God.
thing.
Oh, dude, I was the same. Well, even just till this year, like uni assignments, I'd leave it until like the Sunday it was due.
Yeah.
Just like the rest of my cohort was doing the same. But now I'm trying to like get it done like earlier in the week or something.
Yeah, that's good.
And it feels good to have the time for that. I feel like I'm at least making progress despite isolation, quarantine, and
Yeah.
everything.
That's awesome. I was gonna say too, like, when did it all, like, did you come up with the idea for the album, or like, when did you kind of want to start, like, making? When you're like, oh, I really want to do this project, or like the one you're kind of working on at the moment.
Damn, I think about. I'll be honest. I daydream about fame every night before bed. It keeps me up every
Yeah.
night. Just want to play in
Hell
front
yeah.
of. Just want to play in front of the millions, just like everyone else.
Yeah.
But and it goes in depth. I daydream about taking interviews about this kind of shit, and someone
Yeah.
asked me, "Where does the idea for the album come from?"
Dude, you've
So I've
made
told
it.
this story to myself a
Congratulations.
1,000 times. I'm on the Willie P podcast.
Yeah.
Of course I've made it. Um, but I've told myself this fucking story 1,000 times or something. So I've had a bunch of shitty album ideas that come and go and that sort of
Yeah.
thing. But there's one that sort of stuck with me. So I was big into space. I love the spacey sound and the era. The moon landings was just like a crazy story for it to happen. And it was
Yeah.
like 50 years last year since that happened.
Oh shit. Yeah.
And all the while, I was listening to M83 and their song Outro from Hurry Up We're Dreaming, the like 2011, 2012 album. Like incredible, powerful stuff. And the two things just sort of came together, the space and that soundtrack. And I was just picturing the journey going to the moon and back. And I was like, what a great analogy or like an allegory for someone's experience with, say, depression, mental health issues.
Yeah.
Like literally leaving behind the whole world so far to being isolated as like the only person so far away on the moon. But then there's always the journey back. And the journey back takes just as long as the journey there that people tend to
Yeah.
forget about.
Yeah. That's
And
actually, that's really cool. That's awesome.
and the more I thought about it, the more all these ideas came together and just added up. It's like concepts of just looking at that window and you can cover up the whole world with your hand and leave it like all behind. Just these
Yeah.
like really powerful images and things that came with that. Now I was like, damn, I need to get on this. I need to make an album about that.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's
And
awesome. Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say too.
and so
Do you think you'll have like the album will be kind of based around like the space idea, or more like the mental health side of like that? I guess.
I feel like they'll sort of tell the stories of one another through one another.
Yeah.
It's like you tell the story of going to the moon and back as the allegory for mental health. That's all underlying. Then some parts, mental health will be right at the forefront
Yep.
and things like that.
Yeah, that's really
And
cool.
just like every stage along the way, from like lifting off, like this big epic propulsion. I thought of there's a part in the mission where the two ships, the command pod and the landing module, have to dock with one another in space. And it's like, oh, cool, there's some great love metaphors and things like that. And then they have to leave one another, taking one with them that far out.
Yeah.
Things like that.
That's really cool. That's such a that's a really cool like concept thing for an album. Yeah, no one do that because you're doing it.
Hey, I've got it written down in notes. I have legal rights to my intellectual property.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's the other thing they teach us about at uni.
Yeah.
Copyright. I own that shit.
Exactly, and you're saying it here, so you said it first.
Oh, something got on my nerves recently. I love the Avalanches, the Aussie group that do
yeah.
totally sample-based music. And they put out a teaser track for their new album, and it sounds just like what I want to do, and I'm freaking out. Like, we'll definitely be telling totally different stories and in different styles.
You thought of it first.
But well, maybe. I mean, they've probably. When was their last album? Wildflower or something?
Man, it's been a hot minute.
2018 or something. We might have had the idea at the same time.
Yeah, but still,
But,
yours is better.
Probably. You never know. But I mean, if people like one, they'll like the other, and it's more good music for everyone else.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. No, that's awesome. That's awesome.
And yeah, I heard some of the samples they used, and I was like, I was gonna put that exact thing in my album.
Those bastards.
Cheats.
Because when did you like start playing musical instruments? Like when did it like
Oh man.
I guess first playing, were you like, oh, it'd be really cool to like make a song, or was it just kind of like you were bored and you just started playing? Like, yeah.
Depending on how far back you go. I mean, Mum gave us piano lessons when we were children.
Oh shit, that's cool. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, not something I really took off with, but like we still had the piano in the house.
yeah.
We come back to every so often. Hit up the clarinet in primary school and then through the early years of high school. So I got the wind instruments in me.
Yep.
And I wasn't a huge music guy for a little while. But it was, you know, when I started becoming the angsty teenage boy, you know, early high school, really heavy into depression and fun things.
Yeah.
Mum and Dad were just like, "Hey, we've got something to show you," and they played me The Wall, the Pink Floyd film, to go along with the album.
Sick. Yeah.
And that struck a proverbial chord, pun intended, in my heart, and I was just like, "Oh, I get it. I totally get that. That's preaching to the choir. That's everything I need to hear."
That's
And I'd say the song that just got me into it, "Comfortably Numb," and that solo at the end, totally like changed me. That was all I was listening to. And suddenly I was just on a Pink Floyd binge for like 3 years, like 4 years running. My top song on Spotify, top played every year, was Marooned from the Division Bell. It's just like an instrumental solo.
Yeah.
But like it tells a whole story just with David's guitar playing.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
That's
It's
really
so
cool.
emotional.
Yeah.
It got to me. And so I loved Roger Waters, and I was like, oh, guitar's pretty difficult. There's like 6 strings there, 6 whole strings.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe I'll pick up the bass guitar.
Yeah.
And I got a nice shitty little bass guitar for Christmas, and it was awesome. It was like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
I was playing like
yeah.
Seven
Bass
Nation
guitar's sick.
Army.
Same, dude. Fuck 6 strings.
Yeah, and then I started taking lessons at school, playing with my buddies and shit, and it was a great time. And it was like this learning about this language that you can communicate with other people in a band setting, say, where you don't even need to say words to each other. You just like hit that right note and everyone knows what to do.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Would you say the school, I guess, from your experience, like supportive of your, I guess your creativity, or I don't know, even like what you were trying to do, or like the music you were listening to?
They definitely gave me what I needed to unlock my own creativity.
Yeah.
Creativity is not something I don't think schools or anyone else gives you. It's something that you give yourself.
Yeah.
And like, they gave me the tools to do that. Along the way, my bass teacher was like, "Hey, you should play this on like a 6-string guitar." And so I started playing 6-string guitar. And he was like, "Whoa, you're flying by this. You're learning really quickly." You know, it's just like, I'm passionate. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
My friends were looking at me like, "I've been playing for 10 years, and how are you already like half as
Doing
good
that
as me
shit.
at least?"
'Cause you're a
Yeah, I was
badass, man. That's fucking.
God damn, I'll take that. And now I'm spending all my fucking money on instruments, and I'm on
Yes.
keys now. I spent a couple of years playing drums.
Yeah, dude.
Uh, Jack
It's a
of all
bad
trades,
addiction,
master of
man.
none. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, the same with vinyl as well. I've spent way too much on
Oh yeah.
it.
You can't. Next to all my instruments here, there's a shelf of vinyls.
Yeah,
It's like
hell yeah, dude.
100 of them. A lot of them my parents' old ones. Some of them are mine.
Yeah, yeah,
like
that's
that.
sick. Oh, vinyl's so good. Were
Yeah,
you a
man.
vinyl kid in high school? Or
Yeah, I was on it before. I'm not saying I was there before it was cool.
yeah,
I'm not a hipster,
yeah.
but it was just like my parents had all the Pink Floyd records, and we had a little record player, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna be some aesthetic art boy and put this shit up in my room and just blast that.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man.
Shut up, mom! I'm listening to Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. That's sick. That's sick.
But yeah, I wouldn't be doing music at all without them. So
No, that's awesome. I was gonna say, did you have any embarrassing phases where you're like, oh, not sure, or like I don't know, that music that you like kind of cringe at now that you liked then, or like, yeah,
it's all an embarrassing phase depending on how long it takes since. God, I don't know. I don't feel particular shame about any music I was into. Not a lot of people know this. I'm huge on opera and classical music.
no way.
God
Oh,
damn.
sick.
Some
Who do you
some of my
like?
favorite songs. Oh God. It's hard to go past Luciano Pavarotti, the tenor, who do all the sort of classics from like Turandot. I was gonna go to Turandot with my dad because he's big on opera as well.
Yeah.
And I think it's just all the stuff they played for me as a kid. Because there were
Yeah.
things like on long road trips, there'd be Pink Floyd, there'd be the Beatles, there'd be Madness, the British ska band. They're some of my favorites.
Oh,
They're just like
sick.
memories locked away in the back of my head
Yeah,
that
yeah.
come out.
Awesome. That's awesome. I'm gonna have to
And all
check
the classical
that
music.
out because I've only ever listened to like Debussy and
Oh
like
yeah,
Philip Glass. I think he's like more he's a movie composer guy. But
yeah, he is.
but yeah, I need to get
Yeah,
more into
film
that. That's really
soundtracks
cool.
too get to
Yeah. Oof.
Like-
piano playing. So good.
me. Goddamn. When ultimately either being famous doesn't work out, or if I burn out and stop making hits, I'm going into like composing for film,
Yeah.
things like that. Yeah, that's
Fuck
totally
yeah,
what I
man.
want to
That'd be
do.
sick. Because who are some of your favorite movie composers?
Ryuichi Sakamoto and Alvin Noto did the Revenant soundtrack, and that's always been one of my favorites to come back to. I can listen to the album end to end
Yes.
and just be sort of immersed in like a winter apocalypse. It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
great stuff.
Fuck yeah, man.
Hans Zimmer's always had some bangers.
Yep.
You know, the Interstellar soundtrack, all that sort of stuff.
Oh, have you
Crazy
ever
to
get
listen
a chance
to.
to see him live?
No, I saw Tom McMahon did
Yeah,
a couple of years
yeah.
back when he was there,
Oh,
and I was so jealous.
yeah. Oh, it's
But,
so sick. I think he's been doing the same show for ages because I went and saw him. I think he played earlier this year. It was last year. I don't know, late last year. I
Maybe.
think the last time he came to Melbourne, a mate of mine told me because he went to both times. He he had like this. He's had like the same same show. It's
Goddamn.
sick. You should definitely go see it.
Did he have Johnny Marr, the guitarist from the Smiths? Because I've seen him live, and Johnny Marr's just there playing guitar with him. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing there?
I don't think so. It was kind of hard because most of like the bigger stuff, like the violin, like all the instruments were kind of at the back, and then he was sort of like sitting at the
Oh
front.
yeah,
So good.
yeah.
That's awesome.
I think I just love the idea that music itself can tell a story without any words.
Yeah.
Like, and then if you can do both, well, then you've made a masterpiece. Frankly.
Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it. Well, because what would you say? Would you say that Pink Floyd song like would be like a good example of that, or like, yeah.
Well, if you were to listen to just like the whole of The Wall, the 79 album, I think a lot of the time I feel like, oh, there's a lot of skips in this just because they're really low, somber, moody, and really brief. But they're important to the story musically.
Yeah.
Like, if you were to take it on its own, it wouldn't make a great listening experience. But in the whole of the album, you need a lot of these like sort of lower points and sort of things. So without any of the words, the music itself is just on a sort of decline. It's got some peaks and high points, and then it comes right back up.
Yeah,
And
that's really cool.
there's nothing better than like a satisfying ending to the album. Draw it out as long as you can, make it as big as you can, and just
Yeah,
leave the audience wanting more.
100%.
Like
100%.
when I was talking about making that song a good way to end something,
Yeah.
it's just like just built right up at the end. Every instrument's playing really hard, all hitting on that like D major 6 chord. And I was like, what do I call this? It's great. And I was like, damn, this should like end the album that I want to make. So in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
meantime, it's
that's
just
awesome.
called A Good Way to End Something, because it is. It hits hard, like it builds up and then it drops down. And it's like, without any words, I've been told by a couple of people that my music takes them on a journey, which is like the best compliment I've ever heard
That's
in my life.
awesome, man. Yeah, yeah. That's really I can totally see that. Because I was gonna say too, with that album, I mean, you could probably give some more examples, but especially with that one, like when you're listening, is it because I guess you were definitely talking about like how like even not even without words, but like melodically it takes you on a journey and stuff. Is
Mm.
it does it do you like have your own kind of like story in your head with the melodic stuff, or is it more like it'll just like a wave of like emotions throughout the album? I don't know, it's weird because I find that sometimes too. Like I listen to a lot of ambient stuff. I love like Godspeed You
Yeah.
Black Pride. Oh,
Oh, Godspeed.
yeah, so
I
good.
don't have it in here. My brother's got it. We've got Lift Your Skinny Fists. I want that album logo tattooed on me as well. That is one of my all-time favorites.
That's awesome.
That tells a story
Yeah,
with
hundred
no
percent,
words,
100%.
start to finish.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And like that's like the cool thing. Like I don't know, for me, like when I listen to it, it's like I don't really picture anything in particular in my head, but it's like I don't know, I just feel like all these like different emotions, and I guess maybe that's kind of
Yeah.
the story itself. I don't know, but I guess that was like kind of the question I was going to ask you. Like, does it have like do you kind of come with like visuals in your head when you're kind of listening to it, or is it more just like you just kind of get all these different emotions, or
I think a healthy bit of both.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
the visuals will guide the emotions, or the emotions will guide the visuals,
yeah.
that sort of thing.
Mm.
I don't know. It's an interesting question. Like something I haven't really thought about even while making this album. I've definitely thought a lot about other albums and this album and like what specific emotion this is giving me. And that's all that's what they teach you to do in music in high school.
Yeah.
What is the general characteristics of this piece?
Yeah,
Use
I
like 3
remember
words to
those.
describe it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, because I never really thought about it either until you kind of were talking about you know how like even like a guitar solo in a song like can like really like I don't know if you heard Maggot Brain, that guitar solo
Yeah.
thing, like it's
Yeah.
like, whoa, like that's the
That's
same
crazy.
thing. It's like whoa, like you like I don't really imagine anything or like have like a story in my mind, but it's just like it's so weird how
It takes you somewhere, even if you can't really see where, you know.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
definitely in a different mood by the end of it. And I think
yeah,
that's just what good art does. It just leaves you with a different feeling, a powerful feeling. And
yeah,
like,
definitely.
there's good art that will direct you how to feel. Like you could listen to Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick Lamar or something, and Mortal Man will finish and you're just like in awe, filled with all these sort of stirring emotions. And then there's sort of other kinds of art that keep it sort of vague and let you decide how to feel. They'll show you where you can go. I
Yeah,
feel like that's sort of a little bit what I want to do at some point. I don't know how this album would go, whether I'm more showing the audience a direction of how to feel or whether I'm letting them decide where to go. Because it's space. I mean, you can go anywhere. Shit.
literally. No, that's really cool. Yeah, that's really cool, like outlook and stuff on it. Because like, yeah, do you think with your stuff, like you want to keep it a bit more, or like of your storytelling of like, okay, this is what this is going to be about, or do you want it to be a bit more sort of, I guess, the instrumental side and be like, kind of let people like make their mind up for themselves?
I'm totally like about instrumental rock, that sort
Yeah.
of thing. But I think maybe a great thing that I could look at as a reference is David Bowie's Low or something like that. There's a lot of great instrumentals in there, and also some songs with sort of sparse vocals. I think if you can keep the vocals down and the lyrics down to just what's necessary to tell the story, keep it vague, let people discover what they want to discover, but also putting out your point of view and not riffing on it too hard, you know, just keeping it simple and sort of minimal. It's like a really good way to put out good music.
Yeah, that's awesome. Dude, you have such good like takes on this shit. Fuck, that's really cool.
I just got to put it into practice now. Fuck.
Yeah.
Easier said than done.
Yeah. Did you ever have a trouble with this? Is what like really got me. I guess I kind of sat down and forced myself to do it, but because I mean I listen to so much different shit, and like I'm always like starting all these like different projects. I think at the start of the year I was like, oh, it'd be cool to like make electronic music, and then I was like, oh, but like I love like doom metal at the moment. I have a folder on my computer that's called like in like cyber doom. Like makes no sense. I don't even know what I was doing. Cool. But I was like, oh, I don't know. But I just go through all these different phases, and I was like, oh, like this wouldn't work for this, but it would work for something else. But, like, is that like I guess it's kind of a thing that I've had a bit of trouble too. I mean, sticking with this one project and trying not to deviate. But like, has that been like kind of an issue for you as well? Like being like, you're like, oh, I have these other things that I kind of want to do, but I might not work for this, or like, do you just kind of like, fuck it, I'll just put it in anyway and like see what happens?
I think I'm pretty particular with what I want to put in the record.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to keep it sort of stylistically consistent, but like, yeah, same as you, I listen to every different kind of genre of shit.
Yeah, we've mentioned so much. Like even
I mean, like in this record stack here, I mean, my dad grabbed me a bunch of like old soul records, Aretha Franklin, and like one I just listened to recently, La Belle, like a soul trio of 3 female singers, and they're amazing. And I just go through these phases of like, I'm only listening to soul right now, or I'm only listening to funk. I was into Wolfpack really recently.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. They're fucking sick.
And that's sort of what put me back on bass. Just like getting the funk, getting the groove down, man.
Oh, I was like, man, I want to learn to slap so good now.
Like, oh man, do it. Do it.
That's awesome.
But yeah, and then you come back, it's like, oh yeah, I'm trying to make a really spacey sort of rock album or something like that, rock pop sort of thing. And it's like, oh yeah, I mean, there's always ways you can put in, like I could definitely have like a really funky bass line in there for sure, or I could have some really soulful singing, get some really good singers to come in and help me out with that.
Yeah, that's cool. Have you ever, is there any other, I guess, projects you would, or other styles of, yeah, I guess other projects you would think working on that wouldn't work for this, but you'd be like, it'd be interesting to dabble in that, or like other genres, be like, oh, it'd be cool to like see what my take on.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I would love more than anything to study like traditional African music, like
cool,
djembe, drumming, that sort of thing, and just let that have an impact on my playing in general, and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
like there's other projects and album ideas I've had that would just like totally use that sound so well, or something like that.
Yeah,
we know, love fuck yeah, for sure. The whole of like Marvin Gaye's discography.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'd love to do some funky stuff, some more pop oriented kind of things. I'm really liking where pop is at the moment. I used to hate it. Couldn't stand it. I was one of those kids who was like, pop is dead. I only like music from the 60s and 70s. Yeah, it's all the same. But I really love where it's at. I'd love to be a part of that as well.
That's cool. Like, yeah, what are some of the like the big names? I was going to say like that, or like why do you like the scene now? Like what kind of made you gravitate towards it like now than before?
I think, well, I mean, culturally, like pop culture is what drives pop music ultimately. And I think that this will get a little more deeper than I intended, but we're sort of the first group of kids to grow up with technology and everything. And a lot of kids are ending up depressed, everything, yada, yada. We've heard it all before, but we're now transitioning into the group that's putting out pop music, whereas the last generation are getting older. And so we've got this new fresh take that's sort of relatable to us, of course, but it's a little bit more, I mean, I feel like there's more art in pop than there's been in a long time. A lot more sort of deeper meaning to find, a lot more really interesting sort of political takes and that sort of thing. Like I love Tyler, the Creator, Billie Eilish, a lot of the big like hip hop and rap scene, everything coming out. I didn't like Billie Eilish at
That's really funny
first.
you say that. That's so, yeah, true and interesting. Because I remember when I started listening to like Tyler, the Creator and like Billie Eilish and those kind of things, and I was like, oh, like I love this, but I was like, I'm really surprised that this is big. Like, I not in like a bad way. Like it was fucking amazing, but I was just like, wow, like a lot of people like relate to this.
This is what the young kids are like listening to and shit. And
Yeah,
they're really like
yeah,
enjoying it as much as we are. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, which I would have thought would be kind of like quite like testing because it's very different, which I like. I love it.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, it's very cool. That's very interesting. Yeah, that's truth bomb.
And like,
man. That's cool.
man,
Okay.
I wonder how there's always like generational gaps and divides. What happens when the next generation of kids gets on the internet? Will there be two different kinds of internet culture? Because, you know, there's like heaps of meme culture, the shit that we like. And what are the younger kids going to have if there's going to be like boomer versus zoomer online with young kids and maybe a whole new demographic for like companies and musicians to pander towards, advertise towards.
Yeah.
And whether there's going to be this big cultural split between sort of the 20 to 30-year-olds and the like teenage kids coming out again.
Yeah, that's really true. Like, and yeah, because I guess we're the first people to like, get embraced that. Yeah, that's true. That'll be very interesting. And I suppose even electronic music too. I mean, I guess that's like evolved so much, and like wow, like where's it going to be for the next, generation? But yeah, even with popular, and even underground too. Like, what are some of the crazy shit people are going to come up with?
Yeah,
like, it's just like really curious. Yeah,
got to try and find out and jump on the trend before it becomes a trend.
Yeah, 100%. Because like I think that blew my mind was like, I'm Death Grips. I know if you listen to Death Grips, you probably have. Like,
Yeah,
they were like,
bit.
I know like they're probably like not in the big pop scene and stuff. But for me, like it was so like it was such a cool like I don't know, raw groundbreaking thing of like a mix of like I don't know. I went and saw them. Was it after high school? Maybe it was in high school. I don't know. They came to St. Kilda once. But it blew my mind because it was like hardcore kids were there and like electronic kids were there and like all these like they just work really cool like stuff and I was like, man, like what's the next of this gonna be? Like what's the this thing they're creating? Like it's very cool. But I guess we'll never know.
It'll be us. Be us. Just give it time.
Yeah.
You got
it. Gotta go.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not a viral hit, give it at least like 10 years to make a career, build a fan base out of it. 10 to 12.
Yeah.
Think of any of like your favorite artists. Like before they were famous, they were in the game like 10 years, like a good decade, unless, they were a viral hit or were already famous doing something else in the first place.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's all. Do you have any, I guess, musical goals at the moment? And I suppose it's pretty hard, like in Corona and stuff, but like where you want your art to be. I guess like your end goal. I mean, I guess everyone's end goal is to be famous and massive.
Everyone wants to be famous. Yeah. Everyone wants to be the next big thing. I don't think there's an end goal. I think you just keep at it and doing what you love.
Yeah.
Like I want to be making albums and playing live in front of people. I haven't played live in front of anyone for a long time.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to get the nervous sweats again. 'Cause
Ooh.
I was really comfortable doing it for a while, doing it in front of people.
That's
I
cool.
get up on stage
yeah.
just fine, just by doing it a lot.
Did you get more of a I guess more of a kick out of it's weird. Like I listen to music now and like I don't know, listen to some stuff I haven't listened to in ages, and I'll feel that weird like sensation that I wouldn't have felt unless like I played live before. But I guess because I haven't played live in ages, I was like, oh my god, like this is sick. But like, do you like? I don't know. Do you miss the? I don't know. Did you ever get like that weird like adrenaline rush? Like I don't know. Yeah. Like, do you get playing live more? Is it like more of a kick than like let's say listening to a record?
Oh man, it's like apples and oranges almost. Like
Yeah.
playing live
It's a tough one.
is a totally different experience to having something played for you, listening to something.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're a musician, you need both. You gotta have both, otherwise, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm looking forward to playing live again. There were a couple of kids at uni that were like, yeah, we need a bassist for this band, stuff like that. Everyone's in Melbourne. I'm all the way out here.
Yeah, I feel you, man.
It's all right. Well,
in the sticks.
I'll make it work. In the sticks. God
Yeah,
damn. That's damn right.
No, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was getting up for uni at like 5:30 just to catch a train in to be there for my early classes. Everyone's like, bro, I just woke up at like 8 o'clock. I'm so tired. I'm like, shut up. It's great though. Spend a while on the buses and trains listening to music.
Yeah.
And out like new not making new albums, but listening to new albums like all the time.
Yeah.
Not doing that
no,
anymore.
that's cool. That was such a big thing for me too. Like I remember even like on the school bus too. Like I'm very grateful for the time that it took to get to school because I wouldn't have listened as much. What do you
when I was on the
listening to at
school
moment?
bus though, what am I listening to at the moment? Oh man, going back over a lot of old things. Blonde by Frank Ocean.
Nice.
Going back to Dark Side of the Moon again. Like once a year, I come back and just listen to that. Like,
It's that time of year again.
It's that time of year. Springtime. It's a lovely time.
Yeah.
Spider season.
Yeah. Oh, true. No, that's sick.
Yeah, I was into Wolfpack pretty recently. A lot of funk.
Yeah.
My bass teacher was showing me a lot of like Afro funk, things like that. Kenny Okumulo, Jaco Pastorius. Like I'm sure any bassist knows who Jaco Pastorius is. But like amazing jazz bassist who like play harmonics and the bass line at the same time.
Yeah.
Just going hard.
That's cool.
He's really cocky though.
What's that?
Like he was really cocky. Some interviewer asked him, like, what do you think the future of jazz is going to be? And he said, well, I'll be in Miami next week. So that's cold.
That's really
cold motherfucker.
Wow. Like, yeah. Wow. That's a.
Oh, you asked before, what's my musical goal? To be like that.
Yeah.
Gotta be that guy.
That's a good goal, man. That's a good goal. Do you have any like dream? What's your favorite piece of? I think you're gonna say the Juno, but I could be wrong. What's your favorite piece of gear that you own, and what's a dream piece of gear that you really want, and why?
Oh, dream piece of gear.
Yeah, just one. There's a lot. I know
one?
there's so much.
I've got a lot of great guitars over there. I got a Fender Jaguar, and I just bought a Gretsch Electromatic. I'm gonna have to show everyone this because.
Oh, sick!
Whoa.
Yeah, bring it over. Bring it over.
So I didn't have a job early this year, but I was doing clinical trials where I just donate my body to science and they test out pharmaceuticals on me to see if I die or not.
Yeah.
And it pays really well. So get on that if you're healthy. And they gave me quite a bit more money than I was expecting. So I was like, oh, I'll treat myself to this.
Hell yeah. Oh shit. Oh man, that is sick.
With all the gold, the gold hardware, everything.
That is pretty.
Such a nice bit of equipment.
Yeah.
This is the stage guitar. This is what I'd take to play live.
You are gonna be a bad
flash the lights in the audience's eyes.
That's sick. Yeah, nice one, man. Damn.
Yeah, I mean, it's about putting on a good show, making sure everyone has a good night. You want to look good up there. You want to sound good up there.
dude,
part of the
anyone would
appearance.
look good at that thing. That's dope. That's
Yeah,
dope.
anyone could hold that and look like a fucking rock god.
Yeah. So you reckon that's your dream piece, like your favorite thing you got at the moment, like the Gretsch?
I don't know. Like with all the guitars I have, I wanted to make sure I had sort of all the different guitar sounds covered.
Yeah.
So I've got
yeah.
like the single coil pickups on the Jaguar.
Mm.
I've got a really nice black Epiphone Gibson hybrid sort of thing somewhere, a Les Paul.
Very nice.
And
Very nice.
yeah, and I got that hollow body with that really like mellow tone for like jazz and lo-fi kind of stuff.
Yeah, that
Sounds
sick.
really good.
I've become such a fucking Gibson fanboy. I'll show you mine. You've probably
Yeah,
seen
go
it,
for it.
but,
Yeah, you show me mine, I'll show you yours.
Yeah,
Other way around.
yeah, literally. Like I got this bad boy. It's got like a wooden finish on it.
Damn.
I don't know
son.
why I love.
Where'd you
wooden
find that?
finishes. I got it from Music Swap Shop for.
Oh, dude, I go there all the time. What the
Oh
fuck?
shit! Yeah. All right. Shout out to Music Swap Shop. Link in description.
Yeah,
They're
shout out
so
Music
sick.
Swap Shop.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, dude, they're so fucking cool. But yeah, I really want to get a. Have you seen the Gibson RDs? Have you seen those? They're
I
like,
haven't.
they're really weird shaped. But yeah. Oh my god, so good.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, very very cool. I'll
That's
link it in
real
the
nice,
description,
though.
everyone.
Go for it.
But
But yeah, I mean, this Juno would be my pride and joy.
yeah,
Found this from they usually go for like $4,000. There's some guy in South Melbourne selling this for like 1,600. I was like, that's a steal. Like fully working. And I knew I wanted a synth. I was looking at a bunch of new ones for like similar prices, and they were like tiny little things with like pretty tinny sounds.
yeah,
And I saw this there, and I was like, shit, I'm gonna need that. And it was right as lockdown started, so we had to sort of. I hope this doesn't put me in jail, but we had to sort of break the law and leave the quarantine zone to go get it in like the first quarantine.
yeah.
But it was so worth it. Came home and plugged it in and just like listening to the first sounds. Got it from a guy named Dylan Trucio, some like crazy producer. I walked into his room and he's got, if anyone's into like, beat making, hip hop and stuff, he's got like all these Akai MPC like 60s and like 2000s or whatever sitting there, like with all the drum pads on them and stuff, the
That's
MIDI
dope.
production centers or whatever.
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
like they're worth a lot of money. And I'm like, look at this dude. Look at all the shit he's got.
Tell me
Like,
these
yeah, I had
two
a
real quick.
yeah. I didn't have the money for it then. But he was like, oh yeah, I had a rolling like Jupiter 8 out in the backyard. I'm like, that's like worth more than a car, at least. That might be the dream bit of gear, the Jupiter 8,
Yeah.
which is just like one of these like there's like 8 of these Junos in one.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
that's mad. Is there a reason you went analog instead of like digital software?
Not particularly. Like I just saw this and I couldn't pass up the opportunity. Like I was gonna go digital. Don't think there's a huge difference other than sort of reliability, and some synth heads will tell you there's like a difference in sound, but it's negligible. Like your general audience isn't, they're not synth heads. They're not going to be able to pick it out.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
I don't know. I also just like the simplicity of what's on the face here with the certain controls and things you can mess with. I wanted to do modular synthesis. If you've seen like Dead Mouse's studio or someone like that, or even Hans Zimmer, they've got the huge wall of synths with like plugs, wires going everywhere.
Yeah.
That might be the dream. All right, I'm changing my answer a second time. Dream's the big spaceship wall of synthesizers that just do everything.
I don't know if you've seen Trent Reznor's got like fucking like thing like that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He's got just like rows and rows of things like that going on. But I feel like cause I'm still a beginner with this sort of stuff and synthesis, so that would have just been way too complicated.
Yeah, that's
So
really cool.
This was a
but,
good
yeah.
starting point.
Yeah, that's really cool. You went analog because I went. I bought Omnisphere. I don't know if you've heard of Omnisphere. It's like a
Yeah,
yeah.
I've heard of it.
I spent like $500 bucks. It was pretty good. And I think they've got like 12,000 sounds on there. which is great. And like effect, they have a fucking space effect. It's ridiculous. It's like,
Yeah.
where the fuck did you come up with that? Anyway, it's really cool. But it's great, but it's cool that you went with the simpler stuff, because like I would just spend like an hour just trying to find a sound I want, instead of kind of going with like, oh, what's this like riff thing that I like. And I mean, I suppose there's definitely a creative thing for like finding a sound that you like as well. But that's good that you started there, because I think going back and doing it again, I think it would have been better buying something like I bought this. This is like a micro brute.
A little Korg.
Yeah. Which is like really good. It's like super simple as far as like it's pretty much like one distortion sound, and you can fuck around with that distortion sound. But yeah, I'm not much of a keyboard guy. Like I can't play keyboard very fast, which I think
I've had to become one.
Better. Yeah.
Like sort of, I mean, I know the theory that school and uni's taught me. So just like, it's pretty simple on a keyboard, just sort of self-taught, things like that. It's working out pretty well, honestly.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. I need to get in theory. Feel bad.
I'll give you classes.
Yes, please. I was gonna say too, do you get influenced by like visuals and like movies and stuff too, or is it more just like do your ideas come from that at all, or is it like more musically, or like yeah?
A lot of my inspiration more comes from sort of stories and history, like factual events, narrative, and that sort of thing. Not so much musical or visuals. But if I had to pick between the two, musical inspiration always comes like first. That's always sort of go to tier inspiration.
Yeah. That's cool.
Or you know, you get the random sporadic events of like, oh, this is good. Write that down. My phone is chock full of notes of like lyrics and of like chord progressions and things.
Yeah, that's really cool. Do you write with theory first, or is it like purely by like, oh, I'm playing this, and then
the feel comes first? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you write the theory down, and then you can add things on top of that with your theory knowledge.
That's really cool, because I see people like write like be like, oh, like this chord would sound really cool with this chord without like playing it. And I find that really like that would be very interesting experience, like what that would be like. Because I mean, I don't know theory. I mean, I know drum theory, but like everyone knows drum theory. It's fucking easy. But
goes
like
bomber clat.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that would be very interesting, being like someone like writing out like, oh, that I memorized that sound, and that would sound cool with that.
There's things that you know work. Like if you were to play, I don't know, like a D chord or something, you know that if you want to add tension and bring it back to that, you could do the fifth, and you do like a dominant fifth. So that's just a major chord with a minor 7 or something. So it's got tension. You can sort of hear it wants to pull back to that. Pull back to that.
Yeah. Okay.
But as much as you can know that going from that to that, as much as you can know that that's going to sound what it sounds like, you need to play it. You need to feel, and you need to test it. Like I wouldn't write a chord progression just based on like the Roman numerals and what I know they're supposed to do and how I know they're supposed to function.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah. Do you would you ever get a band like together to like play live with your stuff, or like do you think you'll kind of like release that and then just sort of like play another
if
band?
I could
like,
get people to play with me, if I could get if I could be Tame Impala and have a bunch of people that are willing to be like, yeah, we'll play that music, I totally would.
Fuck yeah. That's sick.
Or if anyone wants to like have input here and there for like accompaniment, things like that.
Yeah, comment down below, y'all.
Yeah, for sure. Join me on my quest for global domination.
Yes. Dude. Couple of years, we'll be fine.
Give me 10 years. Join me for 10 years and we'll be famous.
You're on the Willie Peak podcast. You've made it already.
I made it. Let's be real.
This is the last fucking podcast.
But what was I going to say? I was going to say, because when you're writing your own stuff, you're your own harshest critic, right?
Yeah.
So a band is great alongside you to contribute. So you're a lot more open to the ideas that are coming in, and you're probably you might even enjoy the sound of your own music a bit more if your lyrics are put to someone else's drums, if your lyrics are put to someone else's bass,
Yeah.
chords, and guitar and stuff.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's a good point.
it's not yours, and
yeah.
you'd be like, "That's great."
Yeah, yeah, and like definitely sounds like different when other people play it too. I was watching a My Cam. I love My Cam. It's not a phase, Mom. I still listen to My Cam.
Fair.
And they were doing this like documentary thing about like, I think that like when they first started, and they were talking about how like someone would have like a song, but then like when everyone came in and did their own thing to it, like it would like really change it. Like mix up, which I thought was like really cool. I know what you mean. It's like that whole idea of being in a band. It's like even if like you write the song, you're like everyone like play that, like everyone's gonna, you know, if you say like, hey, put a lick in or something that's yours, and then like it can really like make it cool.
Yeah.
Which is why I love music. Shout out to music.
Which is why I went to uni. I mean, I knew enough theory to make my own music. I knew enough about the business, but I wanted to go to uni to meet people to play with.
Yeah.
And here we are now. I'm stuck at home on Zoom calls with the people I want to play with.
Oh fuck. Yeah, true. Oh man, it's so whack this year. Where do you think you would be without, if COVID didn't happen? Like, do you think you'd have like a band together by now, or you would be like in a band?
I think I definitely would be. It probably wouldn't be my band, but I'd be in one.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
playing around Melbourne, just, you know, giving music to the people.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. It's really cool. Like, I need to, because I don't really know many other artists, especially in Melbourne, like have your kind of style. But like, I mean, great to like find. Do you know anyone around Melbourne who's kind of doing sort of like a similar vibe to what you're doing? Yeah.
Oh man. I'm with like a crazy diverse group at my uni.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pop kids, there's some funk kids, some kids who are into hip hop, a lot of metalheads at my uni, a whole lot of metalheads I could get down with.
I'm definitely one of those stereotypes. Sorry, dude.
Oh no, the stereotype I know about metal guys is that they're all really nice and they're all really like sort of quiet, gentle giants.
Oh,
You know?
you guys. They like to jump around every so often.
Yeah, I mean, let it out, let the hair down.
Yeah. I'm curious, did you ever listen to like metal or like that stuff? I
Never
won't be
been
offended
a-
if you don't. It's okay.
Never been a huge metal guy, but of course, I totally like appreciate the genre for what it is and like the whole culture around it. I spent a bit of time. I really like. You'll call me a nerd or like a poser for this, but you know, I like Metallica.
Yeah.
Way back when
Dude,
that shit
Metallica's
went
sick.
hard.
Yeah.
I don't know if Van Halen counts as metal. The sort of 70s hard rock.
Well, they had a big part of it. Like the whole
Sort
like,
of-
shredder thing.
Yeah. It was like the whole glam rock phase in the 80s and stuff. Hair metal. Like,
Yeah.
I fuck with that a lot. But every so often something comes along. Like, I don't know if you... I count Godspeed You Black Emperor as post-rock. I don't know if that's really metal.
Yep. Yeah, no, yeah, I agree. Yeah, man. Oh, I love that stuff.
Yeah.
There's another artist. I'll put them in the below and I'll recommend them to you as well. Have a Nice
Go
Life.
for it.
Have you heard of them before? They're like
I haven't, no. I'll
they're
write that
like
down.
Godspeed, but they're emo.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're very cool.
Interesting.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I love that shit.
Well, my brother showed me someone last night. Deaf Heaven, Sunbather.
Yes. Oh, dude,
Like,
it's my favorite
like-
record. Yes.
Yeah, like black metal, sort of shoegaze,
Yeah,
spacey
man.
kind of stuff.
Oh, it's so
Yeah, no,
cool,
I like that a lot. Yeah.
That's cool. I'm surprised, like, because like, I mean, I Def haven't one of my first black metal bands, but like, it's really harsh. Like, did it take you a while to, I guess, get into it, or like be able to like take the screams and stuff?
I dealt with it okay. Like,
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with that. And
Yeah.
I think it's its own art form, its own medium that I'm pretty used to.
Yeah.
There was one group that I was listening to way earlier this year that I really loved. Black Midi put out their record Schlagenheim.
Yeah, dude.
And
yeah, Black Metal.
the first song I heard was Boom Boom Boom.
Yep.
That's just riffing on that B for the whole song.
Yeah.
And in the background, it's got like a reality TV star just whinging and sooking and complaining. And I was like, oh, that's so strange. That's so sort of raw, and it's making me feel like uncomfortable. And then it just breaks down into like the hardest head banging bit I've ever heard in any rock music, metal music. And I was like, whoa,
Yeah,
god damn.
dude. Yeah.
So, I got that on vinyl too. I love that whole record.
Oh, Black Midi. Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been into them. I knew about them before, and I've kind of seen them places, but like I'm sort of trying to get into them. I love the riffs. Fuck, the riffs is so
Yeah.
good. I'm still like, I know the singing stuff is good. I just have to like really like give it a chance.
Yeah, like
is there anything like that for you,
pretentious
like
art rock.
yeah. Is there anything like that for you that's like that you know is good, you like it, but you can't quite get into it yet? Like it's still a bit much. Any like genres or just like I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, there was something I was just talking about yesterday. I was like, as much as I know it's good, I can't get into it.
Yeah.
No, the only thing I can think of off the top of my head, sort of the poppier stuff like Lord, Charlie XCX,
Yep.
that sort of like singer-songwriter stuff that I know is good, and I know has been really well made,
Yeah.
like well thought out.
Mm.
But I'm just not ready for it yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm the kids at the 50s concert or the 50s dance and Back to the Future. I'm not ready for that yet.
Yeah.
My kids are gonna love it.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. That's really interesting. Like you said that too, because I mean, I was a big part of that for me was like getting into different genres of metal. Like when I was in high school, like when I first heard Black Metal, I was like, ugh, what is this? And like the same with Death Heaven, I was like, oh, like even though the vocals are kind of singing in the background, I was like, oh fuck, it's like that thing. It's like I kind of just like persist. I was like, all right, I'm gonna fucking force myself to listen to this till I like
it. You just brute forced it until you liked it.
Yeah,
Till
literally.
Stockholm Syndrome kicked in.
Yeah. Because
Fair enough.
but it gave me a lot of patience to like be able to listen to like I mean a lot of ambient stuff came from that. I guess it's kind of a hard question, but where did you get your patience to listen to like long-winded like crescendos and like huge stuff like that? Because I know for a lot of people they can't really listen to long songs, so like I'm just curious like if you had a
I love a long song.
Yeah.
Like I'll make a 12-minute track and be like, I can't release this, no one's gonna listen to it.
Yeah.
But that would have come from classical music and things like that, film soundtracks, and that like gave me the patience for that for sure. Or Godspeed, things like that. Brian Eno, a lot of like real quiet ambient stuff. Or like we all grew up with the Minecraft soundtrack. We've all got the patience for that. God damn.
Yeah,
That is legendary. Top tier.
Cool. That's cool. Oh, dope. Do you have any dream collaborators? Anyone you like? You have to pick one artist.
One artist
to collaborate with to make an album.
Make a whole album with someone.
Yep, one fella.
Whoa.
Sorry, I've just fried your brain. Yeah,
that's a tough one.
Yeah, man.
I mean, if Dave Gilmour was still, he sold his black Stratocaster and all his other guitars, but if he still had a Stratocaster laying around, I'd make an album with him in a heartbeat.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Or oh man, Kanye West maybe.
That'd be really interesting.
We could make some crazy shit together.
Yeah, that would be very. Yeah, got to hit up Kanye. Well, you're on the Willie P podcast. I mean,
I'm sure he'll see this.
I'm sure he'll see this. Yeah, 100%. Nah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I got a few more questions.
Go for it.
Oh yeah, I think I asked before, but any ghost stories? Do you have any ghost stories?
Ghost stories. Yeah, you have. All right, there's one sort of prevalent ghost story.
Yeah.
From this house. We had an old doorbell that sort of came with the house or something, or maybe we bought it when we moved in. And it would just make this one specific classic doorbell ring. Something like
I thought that
that.
was a ghost. Well, it's like, oh fuck, somebody's a ghost.
It's here to stop me telling the story before I get it out.
Yeah.
So me and my brother were really little, and we're sleeping in the sickest bunk bed of all time.
Yeah.
Just the odd night, like every so often, we just hear, like, not the doorbell, not the normal ring. it would play like a different jingle, like a do 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 that for like a really long time, and we had no idea. There's no one at the door, like nobody running around the driveway. It wasn't at a specific time. It would just happen, like every so often, and it would scare the hell out of us.
Oh shit.
And I'm sure if my brother told the story, he might remember there was like rustling or like not footsteps upstairs, but like things being like moved and knocked over or something when it was like just us at home or something. Like everyone was downstairs.
Oh, dude, your
Like-
house is totally haunted.
I don't know if anything bad ever happened in this house.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, we got rid of that doorbell and it stopped. So
Maybe it was the doorbell. Maybe like some.
the doorbell was haunted.
Yeah.
Someone died pushing the button trying to get into someone's house or being chased.
Yeah. Shit.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Whoa. There's always that question of what happens to the extra energy in your body after you die. Like all the neurons firing in your brain. Like, I mean, they teach you in, I took physics in high school. They tell you that any kind of energy can't be destroyed or created. It just has to transform into something else. So you've got all this energy in your body and you're not moving, so it couldn't be sort of kinetic energy movement. It has to turn into something because it can't be destroyed. So you've got all this stored up. What happens to it when you die? Where does that energy go? Does it exit your
Yeah.
body as a spirit or something?
That's a really good question. Yeah, that's a good shit. What are the
I mean-
scientists doing? Come on, we should find out.
Busy trying to like cure a virus? Get on this shit. Are there ghosts?
Because oh man, yeah, it's very interesting. Maybe like
I'm,
yeah. I don't know.
yeah, I've never been a big believer in the supernatural, more in the extraterrestrial. But I don't know. Think about all those old Navy videos coming out recently about UFOs, things like that were confirmed by the Pentagon. Like, yeah, we don't know what that is.
Yeah,
Like, it could be made
that's-
on Earth, but
that's
like,
some
it's
shady
crazy.
shit, man. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
actually I'll link that in the description because I find that shit interesting, but I haven't really looked in on it. Yeah, wow, that's true. That's true. Shit.
It's
I love
fucking- it's Ziggy Stardust and the spiders from Mars, man.
yeah, dude.
Coming to tell us the world is ending.
Truth. What do you reckon you'd be doing if you weren't doing music? Would you be like an astronaut if you weren't doing music?
That's a really good question, actually. I've just had this idea in my head that music is all I'm destined for. And if I don't get into it, I'll just find another way into it.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
You know, man, if I weren't doing music, all my other interests, I don't know. Still a big drawer, painter, sometimes actor, writer. I think I'd be writing books.
Yeah, that's
That
cool.
would have to be it.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Do you have any plans
I
to
don't know.
bring anything out like after you've done your album and stuff, like a book or anything like that, or are you kind of just gonna stick with music for as long as?
I don't know. If I find the time, I'll definitely be writing novels of some kind. The kind of shit that they'll give to kids in high school and literature class and say, analyze this, and they'll go, oh, I fucking hate Max Irwin.
Yeah,
Books suck.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Oh, that'd be sick. Oh, hell yeah, man. Well, dude, thanks for coming on. Fat chats.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
hella
this was
shit is
great.
hella interesting.
Thanks for having me, man.
No worries.
Grateful that you even took me on, honestly.
Dude, it's sick. Your music's sick. Dude, we're famous. Don't worry about it. We can do whatever
That's
we
true.
want.
Right now in ISO, we totally can. So long as
Yeah,
it's within
hell yeah.
5 kilometers of your home. You can do whatever you want.
Exactly. And dude, let me know when your album is out and we will have you back on and I will analyze your album and ask you questions about it.
yeah.
And grill you about it.
All right. Now you've said it. I've got to like get on it. I've got to finish it.
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, have a good one, dude.
Yeah, you too.
I'll catch you real soon.
Always
Catch you, dude.
it's a pleasure.
Bye.
Thanks, man.